Welcome back to Beyond Bourbon. Today we are each doing our top 3 most underrated bottles. A lot of the times we always are like, oh, this is the best bottom shelf bottle, or this is the worst bottom shelf bottle, whatever. We talk about bottom shelf most of the time, and people will get very upset about this or that. And so I think this is kind of like describing our palette of what we think 3 bottles, not just bottom shelf, are worth the money, A, and B, not talked about enough.
Exactly. And we do a similar series on, our short form content, TikTok, shorts, reels. But we don't really get a chance to explain ourselves, explain our choice. I've had a couple controversial ones.
For sure.
And the list we have today is just a couple. We have a lot of underrated products. These are some 3 of our 6 total. Our favorite underrated products. So you go first?
Yep. And then you guys can vote in the end of whose list do you think is better.
Yeah.
Or worse. I think I'm going to win for sure. But
I think you will too.
We will see. So number 1, Medley Brothers. So no one really knows about this product. Medley Brothers, Watkins, same family. This is their bottom shelf offering. It's still like $30-something for 101 proof, or 102 proof, sorry. It is so good. It's an interesting mash bill of a high malted barley content. And so you get this unique smoothness that makes it like so, underrated is probably the best word to describe it because it's so special. Like I don't think it compares to any other $30 bottle. And I really like it. Jared's not a huge fan of it.
It's so different.
Yeah, it's very polarizing.
You poured this for me blind one time. I'm like, am I drinking bourbon? Like, I just didn't know. But once you get past that and you know what the mash was, you pour it knowing what it is going into it. It's pretty good. Yeah,
this is my favorite distillery. It's the most bottles I have is from Medley or Medley Brothers, anything like that. And so it's always a go-to for me. It's just one of my favorite bottles. And for good reason, I think. It's hard to find. That's one of those products we're talking about that's over 100 proof. That's around $30. It's a good proof. And the higher proof mixed with the higher malted barley content, it gives it a light experience, but it matches really well.
Yeah. I definitely, if you've never tried it, go out and find a bottle or pour of something because it's absolutely worth it trying for at least that one time. So unique, so different.
Yep.
Bullet 10 year. This is just a stand-in for Bullet in general, though.
Yeah.
Because to me, every product they make is worth the price they're charging.
Yeah.
And they all taste so similar, but they're all so different at the same time. I can't tell you enough. Bullet is amazing.
There's not been a product we've had from them that we've not liked, not loved.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that's just the best way to say it.
At first, I tried it, and I had not had any rye products ever. And that little high rye mash bill kind of took me by surprise. But once I realized what that could offer, I went back to it with a different mindset, and I fell in love with it. Like, nothing can be a better just everyday pour than Bullet, in my opinion. Like, you cannot go wrong with the regular, the 10-year, or the barrel strength or single barrel products. Like, they have great offerings. This is a 10-year product for less than $50.
That you can find on the shelf pretty commonly.
Yeah, there's literally only one other bottle I can think of that compares with that, and that would be Russell's 10 because it's a similar price range, usually always available in 10-year product.
Yeah.
Eagle Rare, can't find it.
Yeah.
If you find it secondary, it's marked up.
I think this is better than Russell's 10.
I agree.
Tenfold. Like this is so much more complex, more flavorful. Russell's 10, you really don't get age on it. Like if you didn't tell me that's a 10-year product, we've blinded it before.
It's too age. I think it's too much of like the oak. I don't know the proof really point. It's just a little odd.
Is it the same proof?
Like 93 or something weird.
91.2.
Yeah.
90.
90. Yeah. It's right on 90. So similar products. I prefer this.
Yeah. I mean, look at that color on that too.
Yeah.
This one again, it's just so well rounded, so complex compared to other products at the same age point and price point. So Bullet's hard to beat.
Great mixers too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put that out there. Like this is the perfect cocktail bourbon, like any of the Bullet products. Sure. So, all right, let's see what you got. Number two.
Number 2.
I think we're pretty even going around 2.
Is Rittenhouse Rye.
Ooh.
So the reason I chose this is we've had this recently. I guess 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago now.
Huge shocker.
Huge shocker of so good. First rye we've had on bottom shelf, and it did amazing. You guys might have seen the finale now, but so it might have won season 2. But it was at the top of the leaderboard after season 2. an absolutely amazing bottle that was 51% rye, so it's not super heavy, and $25. No one talks about this enough. Like, this is one of the most perfect bottles in cocktails. Like, I cannot imagine something better.
Yeah, I think this is one of Heaven Hill's best products.
Yeah, especially, like, gosh, Heaven Hill has so many good products.
They have too many
now that we
products,
think
honestly,
about it, yeah.
but like they don't miss that often.
No, they don't. Like, Evan Williams bottom bottom, like,
Yeah, but I prefer this over Evan Williams bottom.
Yeah, I do too.
I prefer this over Larceny. I prefer this over Elijah Craig Smalt Batch. Like, this is just
they do have a lot.
superior product in that price range. You're getting a barely legal rye, but it's really palatable for bourbon drinkers. It's hard to beat. You got 2 plastic screw tops and you're still beating me. That's crazy.
So that's what I'm drinking right now. And the nose, it's pretty rye-esque after coming off of a couple bourbons we've drank today, but it's not so rye that's gonna knock you down. Like, that's a problem with it. Like, when we first started getting into ryes, we were drinking, 95.5 ryes or even like 80% ryes, whatever. Pretty high ryes. And that just was not the best entry. That was not the way to go. And so the first few times we were just like, no, rye's not for us. We're just gonna stick with bourbon. Then we've gotten into that a little more more recently, and we found this, and this is what would have been the perfect bottle a year ago. Like, when we first started drinking bourbon, like, I would recommend to you, if you're a beginner, put this in your to buy list, because you want to get into this early so you can enjoy the world of rye as well.
It is 100% worth it. Like, you're not going to waste your money on a $25 bottle like that. That is incredible. I wish it was on my list. I'm glad we have it. It's a great one.
Yeah. Go ahead, Jared.
Got Maker's Cast Strength.
It's so good, dude.
Maker's Cast Strength is one of the few wheated barrel strength products that I enjoy.
Yeah.
And the best part about it is it's literally like $35-$40.
Yeah, it's very, very cheap. They're all around 110 proof.
110 proof, which is a phenomenal proof for that price point.
Yeah.
It is mountains better than regular Makers. It blows the license plate series out of the water. This is the gold that they struck Makers. I still get to try Makers barrel strength or cast strength 46.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's really good, but it's a little bit more expensive. But I'm talking about underrated products. This is not talked about enough at all.
It's not.
Please buy this instead of regular Makers. The extra proof really just complements that wheat well, but it's not overpowering. There's no funk. I don't know why Makers has mastered to get the funk out of the wheat and still make it a good product. We just blinded Makers earlier, and we didn't even realize it was a wheat because it just got rid of that nasty funk that you get. So this is just a really smooth 110 proof pour. I'd recommend to anybody.
So often when cast strength wheated products, when you go up to cast strength, anything really above 100 proof, or maybe above like 105 to 106, you get this funk that starts to join even more so.
Yeah.
And so like Weller Full Proof is an example of that. Like, it's good, but you always get like, it's not really a funk as much as like other funks have. Other wheateds have, but it's still a little different. This is the perfect example of it.
This was a lot funky.
Rebel 100 does not really have that on it. And then you come up to the cast strength and you're like, that's not it. That doesn't taste, as much as like what I was hoping it to be.
Exactly. I think most wheated products, they get worse the higher you proof them.
Yeah.
That weirdness. This one actually gets better by a lot. Like, this absolutely kills Makers, regular Makers. So if you like Makers, move up to this one. This is a great product. It's a great, still sub $50 product. Get you entry level 110 proof if you're not used to that kind of proof. So I think this is a great underrated bottle.
We have 4 insanely diverse bottles so far.
Not even close.
We have a rye,
different mash bills, all of
a
them.
high malted barley, a high rye, and then a wheated. So
There's no rye. Yeah.
My third and final one, we put a little asterisk by it. People are probably gonna be upset. There's a reason I chose this. Just let me explain before you stop watching the video. And it's E.H. Taylor Single Barrel. Now, E.H. Taylor Single Barrel, the first time we had this, we fell in love with it.
Yep.
We've not drank it a lot since then because it's more of an expensive bottle. We do a lot of bottom shelf stuff, a lot of average stuff.
Yeah.
And we just tried it again for the first time in probably a month, 2 months maybe. Wow.
It's all
I
right.
mean, insanely complex and just so different than any other Buffalo Trace product. Like, when you go to the nose, you're like, okay, that's definitely Buffalo Trace-esque. You get some grapiness to it. You get some oak. But then you go to the palate, and it is just an explosion in your mouth that is just so good. And not enough people talk about it. I know it's really hard to find. I know it's pretty expensive on secondary, but for like an $80 bottle, if you could find this in a store regularly, this would be the best under $100 bottle ever. I feel like it would be insane.
And believe us when we say it, we do not like the fact that Buffalo Trace is always so hard to find.
Correct.
And so like putting that on this list would be like a cheat. As you see a lot of YouTubers and people, they have a bunch of Buffalo Trace products, and they're like, "This is the best thing ever," but you can't find it. This one actually is.
Yeah.
I usually drink Buffalo Trace products. I'm like, this is overrated.
Yeah.
This is overrated. They're constantly on my overrated lists.
This week.
Umbertuli, I tried it for like the first time, I think. It was not good at all. I wouldn't have paid $40 for it. I wouldn't have paid $30 for it.
I think that's a little...
I hated it. I don't know. Maybe my glass was dirty and it was in a freaking rocks glass.
Thank you, Liquor Bar.
Yeah. But it was not good. It's not worth $300. What is worth it is this product.
Yeah. I mean...
It's even worth paying up for.
Oh, dude, it's so good. And we're talking Bourbon, of course, and it's one of our favorite proofs.
They're best proof.
This drinks more than 100 proof, though, in a good way.
Yep.
Now, a lot of the times when we say that, we mean in a bad way because it's like pure ethanol or pure alcohol that's coming off of it. But for this one, it's just more flavor.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best way to describe it, is everything on the palate is just more. It's the what do we used to call it? The flavor blasted cherry, or flavor blasted,
Flavor blasted goldfish.
Flavor blasted goldfish is what this is. Yeah. Like, it is to another level compared to any other bourbon we've had today, and honestly, any other bourbon we've had in a very long time.
Yeah, and it's like, it's so grapey, it's so different than anything else. It's so much better than the regular small batch.
Yeah, and small batch is one of our favorite bottles, especially at that price that you can find at retail. They could not be more different, though. Yeah. In a good way. Like the small batch is so like cinnamon, baking spice, just caramely sweet. And this is just pretty much everything opposite. It's like fruity, it's oaky, and it's just good though. And we've not had other single barrels. That's important to note. They could be better or worse than the bottle we have. That'd be something interesting to do though. It's a little comparison if we can get our hands on another one.
Yeah. Early Times Bottom Bond.
Gosh, dude.
I think this is the most underrated bottle of all 6 of these. Because 5 of these, it's higher than all those.
Yeah.
Because not only is it the cheapest by volume, because it's a liter.
This is a liter.
It's one of the best. I would take this over this. I would take this over this. I take this over this. I take this over this. This is the only one I think I would take over it.
Yeah. Early Times is, we talk about it probably more than any bottle on the channel, and we can never get the word out enough.
Like, I don't understand how it's like, how this is a product on the market.
Yeah, I agree.
It blows my mind thinking about it. The amount of flavor on this pour matches all of these. Mm-hmm. Even this one, on the amount of just how much flavor you're getting.
Yeah.
For a sub $20 bottle.
It's insane.
It's 100 proof, which is our favorite proof. It's all the sweetness you've ever wanted, all the savoriness you've ever wanted.
It's the perfect evolution.
Yep, it is. If you can get your hands on it, which it's a little bit hard to find, but I see it pretty much all the time here in Lexington.
Yeah. I don't know what it's like in other places, but yeah, in Lexington.
It's a great pour. I know there's a debate on which lid. This is apparently the lesser of the different bottlings.
I can't imagine.
It's better.
Cannot imagine.
So hopefully it doesn't get worse in the future. But for right now, Early Times Bottom Bond is the most underrated product in the market. I think it would beat all of our bottom shelf bangers.
Yeah.
Out of the water. I don't think we're gonna find a bottle better than this one.
Even excluding price, it's the most underrated bottle.
Yeah.
Like
it does not
get talked about nearly enough. Like, it doesn't matter if I've seen it on one channel, I've seen it on 2 channels, like whatever it is. If this does not make someone's underrated or favorite bottom shelf bottle list, I don't know. Like that's like one of the contenders. If we do a whiskey of the year list, that's in there for me.
100%. Like I could put this against anything. Like, what is the common ones that you see on people's lists? I see
Evan Williams Bottom Bond.
Evan Williams Bottom Bond. I'd prefer it better. Wild Turkey 101. This is better.
Now, that's the bottle that got us in trouble on TikTok. Not in trouble. You know what I mean?
We got banned.
Yeah, not on trouble from TikTok. Trouble from our watchers. That we said Wild Turkey 101. Jared did, more specifically. I'll put the $300 there. Was overrated because of bottles like this that exist, specifically at Early Times. It blows Wild Turkey 101 out of the water.
And it's cheaper. It's a liter bottle.
Yeah.
Everything about it is just better. I love Wild Turkey, but I prefer this.
Yeah, I agree. So let us know which list you guys think won. I think there's bottles here that if we can make the perfect list, I'll probably do single barrel, early times, maybe Rittenhouse.
In Rittenhouse.
That'd be like the perfect combination for me. But let us know what you guys think from these two lists separately. Whose has the best list, and then let us know what your top 3 most underrated bottles are, and we will respond to the comments and tell you guys what we think about those. So see you next week.
Yeah, see you next week. I was gonna say part 2. Eventually, we're gonna do another one of these. I think we each can come up with another list here.
For sure. Like we have so many we can talk about.
So
this is our favorite thing to explain to people.
Exactly. So let us know if you want to see this again. But yeah.
Yeah. Now I'll see you guys next week.